Hey guys, welcome. Come on in, sit down because it's time for another episode of Dreamwave Prelude. Happy summer, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great summer because, man, we're having a great summer at Dreamwave because the action is hot. We're dead in the center of the summer of Dreamwave, and we just got finished with Dreamwave All-Star Weekend, so we'll be talking about that later on. So first of all, I want to say thank you guys for joining us today. I am DB. This is Dreamwave Prelude. Where we showcase the stars of tomorrow in Dreamwave Wrestling. Man, excited for this episode. We're already at volume 11. Man, I can't believe it already. Volume 11, man. So the action is definitely heating up at Dreamwave Prelude. You know, we got a lot of new faces coming in and out of Dreamwave Prelude, trying to make it on that main roster for Dreamwave, but we're excited for it, man. I want to remind you too, while you're here, subscribe right here at sitdownmarks.com to stay caught up on all Dreamwave episodes. And once again, thank you guys for joining us today. We'll be bringing in Primo Dylan here shortly, but before we do, man, let's talk about the things that have been happening, things that have been going on at Dreamwave Prelude. So let's take a look at the 2026 Top Prospect Series Power Rankings. They were called the Dreamwave Prelude Power Rankings. Now the focus has shifted to the 2026 Top Prospect Series. So, you know, with the inclusion of the Dreamwave Top Prospect Series, now the goal is to be the top 6 in the Prelude Top Prospect Power Rankings after the October show to qualify for the Elimination Scramble in December, where the winner of that will be the 2026 Top Prospect and will receive an alternative title match in 2027. So let's take a look at the Top Prospect rankings right there. Sean Logan still up top there, 3-1. Jackson King, 2-1. Theseus coming in third right there at 1-2. Jordan Cross, Matt Hatter, Xander Pride, Jade Blackwell, and Florida Man all coming in with one win right there to get them on the Prelude Power Rankings. And man, I tell you what, you know, Prelude it's got more aggressive. A lot of more people, competitors are wanting to be on Dreamwave Prelude, and we're excited for it with the announcement of the Dreamwave Prelude Top Prospect Series. Man, just the interest and the curiosity, you know, is piqued by these wrestlers. You know, they see a way to make it to the main card of Dreamwave Wrestling. So, and this is the way. So we had a lot of attention. We've had a lot of fans and people coming up to us talking about how they like the Dreamwave Prelude Top Prospect Series that we got going on. So, man, we are really excited for this. And so, you know, and somebody's going to get a shot at that Dreamwave alternative title in 2027. So, you know, you heard me say we just coming off a big, huge all-star weekend. We got to talk about that. So let me bring in the resident Dreamwave front row sitter, Dylan. How we doing today, brother? Volume 11, dude. Can you believe it already?
Volume 11 is crazy. Like you said, we're coming off of All-Star Weekend, a big triple shot weekend. To be honest, I'm still kind of in that post-Dreamwave, you know, depression might be too strong of a word, but it's like, man, I wish we were back in LaSalle. Like, back to this normal life. This isn't no fun. I want to go back to wrestling.
Yeah, right. I mean, going back to work on that Monday after a Dreamwave weekend, especially like one of the weekends that we just had, man, it's not a very easy thing to do. Yeah, but let's jump into Dreamwave All-Star Weekend, Dylan. Let's start off first with Uprising 8. You know, already the 8th installment of Uprising. This is our all-women's division. You know, we're only going to talk about a few matches here because we want you to head over to IWTV and check out the replay of Uprising 8. I want to talk about this Tori Fox versus Harley Hudson match. This one led off the card. Tori come out with a win, but man, did Harley do a heck of a job of introducing herself. She's straight out of Liverpool, England, the British babe, TNA knockout, and man, did she impress. You know, she come out short here, but man, this was a big match for her, and I hope to see her more on the Uprising card. And next up, Dylan, man, this was the main event for Uprising 8, man. Tell us about how this one all went down between Rebecca J. Scott and J-Rod.
Main event, like you said, DB, this was the Uprising alternative title. The first 2 title matches for RJS on that weekend. You know, J-Rod's first match back at Dreamwave and Uprising in several months. I believe first match this year. J-Rod, of course, had a good showing, but, RJS getting that quick win at the end, keeping that title, keeping her winning ways going.
Yeah, man, and and the excitement didn't come down for very long, because right after that show, we walked right down the street to Sanctuary for After Dark presents Walk of Shame. Go back and check out the replay of this show. Let me tell you, I get excited about events, right? I get fired up about events. Dylan can can tell you so, but man, did I ever get fired up for this one so much that I basically blew my voice out for the next day's shows. But man, that's just how exciting it is, man. That's how much energy is in the Sanctuary when we do these After Dark shows. But man, this one was top tier, man. I was excited for this one. But Dylan, I'm gonna let you talk about this one, brother, because this one was the show stealer. Hunter Holcraft versus Bear Bronson.
Yeah, man. Match of the night, maybe match of the weekend, up there in contention for sure. A lot of good matches that weekend, though. Hard to, say for sure. But yeah, Bear and Hunter tearing it down back and forth. Great showing from Hunter, against Bear, who's just on fire right now. Just saw him at TNA's pay-per-view taking that big bump off the ladder. Absolutely, this was his first match in LaSalle and just won the crowd over right away. But it was Hunter coming out in the end, kicking off what was a pretty eventful weekend for Hunter, I'd call it.
Yeah, we'll be talking about some actions that he did at Eve of Destruction. But man, this was like a battle of power. This was like a battle of wit. This was a battle of, who can do the worst damage to the other person. Bear Bronson, he got a please come back chant. That don't happen a whole lot, man.
Not a lot.
So, and to see that happen, man, I was excited to have him there. One of the nicest guys on the circuit. So look forward to seeing Bear back in LaSalle. But let's talk about this main event. It was Team Overkill versus Effenbauer. We're talking about Matt Cage and Christian Rose versus Hartenbauer and Effie. Now, this match was set up from the last After Dark show because Effie and Hartenbauer, they went against each other, and then they were attacked after the match, and then Effenbauer joined up. And this was one of the craziest matches,
wild,
that I've ever seen live. This one was just total chaos. Team Effenbauer was able to come out on top. But go check this one out on IWTV. Go check out the nice little awesome setting for wrestling that we have in the Sanctuary there, man. A small, cozy little environment. But man, that is some of the loudest fans I think I've ever even been around before. But man, this was a really cool match. Anytime Effie's on a card, it's always guaranteed entertainment. So make sure you go check this one out and on IWTV and After Dark Walk of Shame. And looking forward to more After Dark shows coming up in the future. But I will try my best not to get all hyped up and blow my voice out. And then next up, man, the finale, the big one, Saturday night, Eve of Destruction, June 20th. You heard us talk about it. We're not going to talk about the match, but unfortunately, Dylan, from the shock that fell across the faces of the LaSalle people, something happened that we thought would never happen, that we may never see. Hunter Holcraft joined the curse. You were sitting ringside, man. What was it like, Dylan? There was like a weird little hush that kind of fell across the crowd when this happened. When Hunter hit 12 gauge with the chair, and they ended up losing the tag team titles to Connor and Stephen Wolf. But explain that moment when it happened, Dylan.
Just bizarre. Just, to backtrack a little bit, we didn't know who Wolf's partner would be after Amina, unfortunately, sustained that injury. And Connor steps in. It's like, okay, Connor's pulling double duty, but they're going against the Hype. Like, the Hype is Dreamwave. The Hype has been on fire. They've beat Bang and Matthews and the new guys. Stack them up. They've knocked them down. What's next for the Hype? And, unfortunately, there's nothing next for the Hype, Hunter, we thought saved Gage. It looked like Connor was going to knock him out with the chair, but Hunter takes the chair just so he can do it himself. And honestly, DB, I'm kind of getting sick of like all my favorite people like turning, like, Brittany back in February,
Sure.
Hunter now. Like, the curse is an issue here because they're taking our favorite people. It's not like they're just bringing in new scumbags. They're taking our own people and turning them against us. And something's got to be done. I'm glad this cage match is coming up in July, and hopefully Gage can get some revenge for the rest of us there.
And it does seem like, the people that the LaSalle faithful have embraced the most have turned their backs, i.e. Brittany, i.e. Hunter, and that kind of stuff. Hartenbauer, he made the point that, he's getting sick and tired of people turning their backs on LaSalle. So something's got to happen here. The match has been set. It's going to be a 5-on-5 match inside the Steel Divide, 2 rings. On July 18th, we'll be talking about that here shortly, but something's got to give. Stay tuned to see what happens. But let's talk about what else happened that night, Dylan. Talk about this Brittany Brooks and Maggie Lee match, how this one went down.
Yeah, I told you last episode when we were previewing this All-Star Weekend, I said, this is the one I'm looking out for, and they did not disappoint. Maggie and Brittany never disappoint. I hate to fight forever chance, but I'm okay with these two fighting forever. It was going back to the curse, we're just talking about it. Stephen Wolf sticking his nose in here, giving Brittany that advantage, and Brittany got one over on Maggie.
Yeah, man. So, this one feels like it's never going to be over with.
Never.
This was just like, this is the next chapter. But stay tuned for this one. But let me tell you what, I will say this. The love that the LaSalle faithful used to give Brittany, the love that they used to give Hunter, it all is going to Maggie now, right?
It's bizarre. All of a sudden Maggie's high-fiving kids, man. I never thought I would see this.
Right.
Maggie's a new favorite. Same thing with Shannon Thomas. Shannon used to get booed out of the building, and now all of a sudden Shannon and Maggie are like two of the faces of the Dreamwave. It's like, what is happening? And we hate Brittany and we hate Hunter. This doesn't make sense. What's going on?
Right. And speaking of Channing, man, he come out with a big win over Cody Lane. Cody, he didn't lose for basically a year. Now he's coming off 2 losses here.
Straight.
Yeah, so this one's going to be interesting to see how Cody bounces back. Hey, I have all the faith in the world in Sugar. You know what I'm saying? He's going to he's going to come back. He's going to be just as fine, looking good as he always has been. But let me tell you about this. Go watch this match on IWTV, because watching this match, Channing and Cody, 2 of the smoothest, characters in the game, man. Watch these moves and stuff that they pull off, man. Like it's chef's kiss. It's what you want when you see in wrestling. It's smooth. It's a fantastic match. I really didn't know how this one was going to turn out, but looks like Channing, came out with the win. And then there was the leather strap match, RJS versus Becca. RJS retains here. Man, leather strap match. You don't see that kind of match too often, but these girls really laid into each other here, Dylan.
They laid into each other. RJS laid it into, man 1 and man 2 and Marge out there at ringside. Everybody was getting it. Man, just strap. I was front row. I was up close seeing this, hearing this, laying it in. You could see the welts forming on each of the wrestlers. And at the end, it was RJS being the first to reach that magical number 4 turnbuckle there to secure that win. Hard hitting back and forth. And, at the end of it, one of the shocks of the weekend, if I'm being honest, Shazza McKenzie goes 3-0 on the weekend, beats like 20 different people in doing so. And she comes out and she lays the challenge down for RJS. That looks to be the next challenger there for Rebecca 2 belts. But she does leave the All-Star weekend with both of those titles intact there.
Yeah, and still, both belts. She continues to, defy the odds. She continues to set new records. She's setting Dreamwave records on top of, one another.
Right.
So, just an unbelievable run, really. You know what I mean? And I thought the first run was great. This run with these 2 belts, she's locked in, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's on top of her game. It's maybe hard to argue that she might be one of the top women ever in Dreamwave, history. So
first class badass,
right? I like to call her the boss, man, because that's just what she is. She's the boss of the division, man. So Yeah, but stay tuned, man. You know, with Becca, you know, she never takes losses lightly. So let's see what
She'll
happens
be back.
here. And then that main event, man, we had Effie coming to LaSalle to take on the Dreamwave champion, two-time champion, Connor Hopkins. You know, this one Connor retained, but this one really broke down in the end. You know, you had the save being made by some of the Dreamwave guys, some of the Curse guys, you know, and I don't know if this caught on camera or not, but, you know, Christian Rose, you know, they were talking to him, you know, the Curse maybe wanted to join them. Team Dreamwave maybe wanted them to join them. And, you know, finally Christian really didn't do it, you know, until, you know, the end. He joined Team Dreamwave and said that he's in. So, you know, we got a big match that's being set up for July 18th. We're going to talk about it here shortly. Ken Shamrock's going to be in the middle of all this, but what a great all-star weekend. 3 quality, killer, awesome Dreamwave shows like they always do. But, you know, we really got to talk about, you know, everything that's going on. There's so much going on in Dreamwave right now, you know. So, and with that show coming up in July, you know, we couldn't be more happier about everything that's going on in Dreamwave. So excited for that. Let's talk about what's coming up while we're talking about Uprising. Here's the poster for Uprising 9. Zeta Steel is coming back to Dreamwave, and this one's going to be in collaboration with Stardom. So that's going to be pretty awesome to bring in some Stardom athletes. Yeah. And then so this will be July 31st, and then we also have I don't have a poster for it yet, but Taste of Illinois Valley show is going to be, I think, at noon in Peru, Illinois. So we'll have that one during the day. We'll have some matches, but the big one, August the 1st, this one's called The Hands Were Dealt. This is an all mystery card. All the matches are made at random. You don't know who's going against each other until they come through the curtain. Just to show you what happened last year, we ended up with Nick Gage versus Gringo Loco, which was just, you know, nuts, right? So, and this has become kind of like one of my favorite cards of the year.
Yeah, like last year, like you said, Nick Gage shows up out of nowhere. Becca was in the men's alternative title match last year, you know, the actual Dreamwave alternative title, not the Uprising, out of nowhere. Like you say, one of my favorite shows of the year last year. I'm glad it's back. And I just got to say, this might be my favorite poster Dreamwave's ever put out. Like Hartenbauer in a tux, like, let's go.
Right. Connor, Maggie, you know, playing a little poker. Christian in a suit in this one, you know what I mean? So, yeah, very cool. But there's 3 shows. Tickets are already on sale right now at dwtix.com. But let's circle back, though. We got to talk about this July 18th. This one is the big one coming up next. It's at the Psycho Silo Saloon in Langley, Illinois on July 18th. We got Ken Shamrock coming to town. We got the Godfather coming to town. We know it's going to be the Curse versus a Team Dreamwave in that main event. We've already heard Shaza versus RJS as one of the matches announced. So the card is still unfolding, but, you know, in a way to, you know, make it better explain, you know, this is like our War Games show. You know, it's going to be 2 rings, steel all the way around. It's called the Steel Divide, barbed wire on top. There really is going to be no escape. So can you imagine a Team Curse versus Team Dreamwave with Ken Shamrock in the middle of all this as a special guest enforcer? Tell me, Dylan, how do you not buy a ticket for this show, man?
You buy a ticket. There's no how do you don't. You buy a ticket. That's what you do. You know, it's outside. There's going to be plenty of room for everybody. We're going to pack the Psycho Saloon out. Like you said, man, Ken Shamrock, Godfather, and that, you know, that train he's got coming. How do you miss this? You don't. Like, just looking at the poster, and the other talent on there, AMB, and, you know, Cody Lane's on the poster, Dante Leon's on the poster, waiting to see what matches those guys are going to be in. But just the Team Dreamwave versus the Curse, how do you miss that? Like, it's going to be massive.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. And I'm so excited for this one. It's going to be outdoors, July 18th, special 4 o'clock start time.
Let's go.
Afternoon start time. Yeah. So you'll be able to make it home or back to your hotel or whatever, and you'll have plenty of time to hang out at the Psycho Silo Saloon. So big summer coming up. This one in July, more shows coming in July and August. But before we head out on this July show, so we've been talking about Matt Hatter coming back, and he stopped me, at the show and said that he had some big news coming up. So let's see what Matt Hatter had to say. Hey everybody, it's DB, and I'm backstage, and we're gonna try to get a word with Matt Hatter because usually, these things get interrupted by certain people. But I think we're clear today, man. But I am standing here with Matt Hatter, man. It's good to see this guy. He's finally back, and Matt, I understand you got some news for us.
Yeah, this right here. This my doctor gave me and said that I can start fighting again. So,
Nice.
I'm good to go. I'm coming back to Prelude, and I finally get to be your guys' friendly neighborhood maniac once again.
Well, in perfect timing, because we've got the big show coming up July 18th in Langley, Illinois. Sounds like a good place to make a return, right, man?
100%, because it's definitely my kind of environment.
There you go. Tickets on sale right now, DWTIX.com, DreamwaveWrestling.com, July 18th on the pre-show. Matt Hatter, come and check it out. It's going to be awesome. All right, there we go. Matt Hatter making that big return. Funny how, when Matt is, ready to come back and he's been medically cleared, there's no sign of Jackson King around. So, funny how that, kind of happens there, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, looking forward to that one. But look forward to seeing Matt back in action. He's healthy July 18th on the pre-show of No Escape. All right, guys, it's time to get to that featured match of the evening. And boy, Primo, do we have a big one tonight, brother?
Absolutely, we sure do. Of course, we got Sabotage. We have Theseus. These guys have been going at it for the better part of 8 months now.
Yeah, and excited for this one. Theseus asked for the match, and he put Sean in that sharpshooter and decided not to break it.
Right.
Sean wasn't happy about that. So he asked me, or asked Prelude management for another match against Theseus. So I'm excited to see how this one all turned out. But of course, let's hear a little word from both these guys before we jump into the match here.
Tonight on Dreamwave Prelude at the Knights of Columbus here in LaSalle, Illinois. We're getting my rematch against Theseus, but here's the deal. It's not going to be another tainted win like it was last time. No. Sabotage Sean Logan is going to win fair and square, so tune in and be ready.
We're here. It's time. You requested a rematch for God's reason. I don't know. You see, normally when you see them yapping little dogs, they'll be chasing that Ferrari till they get hit. They're laying in the side of a ditch somewhere, and they leave the Ferrari alone after that. But not you, Sean. No, you must be one dumb mutt to beg DB to get back in the ring with me. But you know what? I'll go ahead. I'll humor you, because we got the top prospects coming out. And baby, you're looking at Dreamwave Prelude's next top prospect. You know you couldn't break the sharpshooter. You're never going to be able to break the sharpshooter. So I'm going to break your back. I'm going to take the chain, and daddy, you're going all the way to the top.
All right, well, big words there from Theseus. I'm excited for this rematch. I'm excited that to see these guys finally go at it, and hopefully Theseus stays within the rules this time. So, all right, boys, the Prelude commentary team, Primo and Dylan, if you guys are ready, man, it's time to go to the ring.
Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
That's right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sabotage and Theseus round 2. These guys have been going at it for about 8 months now. Back and forth. Last match, Theseus held on a little too long to that sharpshooter. Let's see what they do here.
Starting out hot, going at it right off the bat. Up and over from Theseus.
Get into the corner, says Sabotage. Counter up and over
from Sean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
shoulder block there. And again. Going through some moves of doom here.
Very interesting.
Oh, with the irate.
iPhone.
Come on. Took, 30 seconds for Theseus to get dirty? Come on. You know, we talked about the importance of wins and losses now with this top prospect series. If Theseus had got the win last time instead of just making a statement, that would really have shook up the power rankings. But
Absolutely.
got to get one back.
He'd be closer to the top than he is now, that's for sure. Here he comes with his hanging DDT.
Hearing some voices. Oh, right on the head.
1
and 2.
Oh, okay.
Kick out.
It's 2 count, 2 count.
Gonna take more than that to keep Sabotage down.
Looks like he's just gonna lay the boots into him. Nothing fancy here, just stomping in the corner.
You know, their last match, we saw Theseus work over Sean's back. Interested to see if they go back to that same strategy tonight. Oh.
Little high knee to the breadbasket there. Look at the power from the Lion of Greece.
There it is. Back first, big buckle from Sean.
Ref Derek checking on him.
Yeah, this is just like I said, what we saw last time. Theseus going after Sean's back.
He's targeting it. He sees the opening. He knows what he's got to do.
On the ropes. Break it, Theseus. Come on.
Come on, come on. That was real close to 5, Theseus.
He's got to do more than just make a statement tonight. He's got to get a win here. Get him up in the power rankings.
Sabotage fighting back now. Oh, Theseus back on top of him.
Yeah. Reversal there of the whip. Up and big backbreaker, backstabber from Theseus. Thought he was going up and over again, but he came down with the knees square in the back.
Once again, targeting that back. Yeah, Dylan, you're right.
Oh, just stomps on the foot up into big spine buster.
Big spine buster. Sabotage's back has to be wrecked right about now.
I think he's going for it again. Going for the sharpshooter. Got him in the middle of the ring this time. It's locked on. We'll have to see if Sean gets to the ropes. This is, remember, how the match ended last time. Sean got to the rope, but Theseus did not break the hold. I don't know if Sean can even get to the rope this time. Right on the Dreamwave logo, right in the middle. Crowd getting behind Sabotage here. And there, he got to the rope. Let's see if he breaks it this time. That's 2 and 3, 4. Come on, Theseus, man.
Come on, get off of him.
Taking every last bit of that 5 count.
4 seconds. There's no telling how much more damage that did.
4.999 on that one. He did break it, though. I guess we got to give him that much. He did break it. Oh, trips. Sabotage trips him right into the buckle. Clothesline and an elbow.
Building up some momentum. Nice standing drop kick.
Got some height on that one. Sean setting something up.
Back here.
Nice running Euro. Brings him out with a bulldog. Sean picking up that momentum.
Oh, man. High risk here.
Oh, nice leg drop for 1 and 2.
And Matt Hardy there.
Just a 2. A little Matitude, a little Alabama Jamma, if you will. But maybe going for that lion salt. Well, Theseus is getting up. Can't be going for that. One up. Proto bomb, maybe? Nope.
Reversal into.
Gourd buster there. Yeah. Hitting the ropes. Oh, cut him in half.
Theseus with the pin.
2. Oh, man. That was it. That was almost it. Sean just kicks out there.
Theseus pleading with Ref Derek there. Gotta be 3, right? No, it was real close.
Theseus got to stay on him. He's got Sean close. He's almost got that second win.
Can't allow Sean to recover here.
Going forward again. Oh, up and over.
Yeah.
Leapfrog. Miss in the corner. Superman,
Miss the Superman. What do we got here? Oh, Chrono Bomb with the pin. 1, 2, 3. That's
Got
it,
him.
folks.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. Sean gets the win. Seemed like more of a competitive, fair match this time.
Yeah, I agree. It was competitive. It was a little more fair. Theseus was holding on to those holds a little long, all the way as long as he could, but kept it legal at the end there.
Yeah, and so with this being the rematch, Sean now that is his 4th win on Dreamwave Prelude. So now that will clinch him as being the first competitor to qualify for the Top Prospect Series Elimination Scramble in December. Let's hear what both guys had to say after the match here.
We did it! Sabotage, Sean Logan. 4 wins in the Dreamwave Prelude. And guess what? I did it my way, not another tainted win. No. We won fair and square in this one, Theseus. However, I'm not going to forget how you did me dirty by yanking that sharpshooter on me and not letting go. So, from all I'm concerned, you still got one more coming for you. However, the focus right now is this. It's become Dreamwave Prelude and the next top prospect of Dreamwave Wrestling, right here.
So I guess you're here for the update on me and Sean's match, huh? Here to gloat a little, rub it in my face? Yeah, sure. Sean got the win today. Every dog has his day. As far as I'm concerned, me and Sabotage, we're 1-1. This doesn't change anything. The only thing it changes is the game plan going forward. I gotta talk to my people. I gotta pray to the gods of Olympus. You're gonna see a different Theseus next time he's a Dreamwave. We're changing things up. I'm gonna smash Sean. I'm gonna smash Hatter. I'm gonna smash anyone in this Prelude division. Anyone that gets in my way of getting to the top. You can be damn sure about that. Now get the hell out.
Well, there you go. I don't think Theseus was too happy about the Prelude cameras coming in to talk to him after that, huh?
No,
Angry.
and like you said, in his mind, they are 1-1, and he is now out for blood.
Kind of an angry man there. It seems, it's his own fault. He lost their first match they had. That would have given him another win there if he would have just broke the hold. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, Sean's already clinched that spot. Theseus is still definitely in contention. He's not out of it. We got several more shows before December. He could end up in that scramble.
Yeah, but with Sean being the first one to qualify, the time is now in the old Cena, to get those wins on Prelude because the year is going to blow by before we know it. We're going to be looking at December before we know it. So it looks like it's going to take 2 wins to get in. There's a lot of guys and girls out there floating around with like 1 win, but it looks like it's probably going to take 2 wins to qualify for that scramble in December. But all right, want to say congratulations to Sean, obviously being the first competitor to qualify for the Top Prospect Scramble. So we're gonna be hearing from Sean here coming up in the future and see how he feels about being the first person to qualify for the Top Prospect Series. So, but before we get out of here, guys, I want to let you guys know, you see what Primo's wearing, you see what Dylan's wearing, you see what I'm wearing. The Dreamwave Prelude official merch store is live. We posted it on all our social media accounts. We have an eBay store. You can go, you can buy yourself a t-shirt, you can buy a hat, you can buy both. I'm running some great deals right now on some hats and shirts combos. Obviously, we'll have those at all the Dreamwave shows moving forward. But if you don't want to wait, you want to wear them to the shows, check us out on eBay. So hit up on our social media and go get yourself, wear what the pros wear. Wear what the Prelude commentary team wears, right? You know what I mean?
That's right. Get out there, folks.
That's right. I want to remind everybody, July 18th, get your tickets to No Escape, and then also another triple shot weekend coming up at the end of July with Uprising 9, Taste of Illinois Valley, and then The Hands Were Dealt. I want to remind you that all Dreamwave events are available on independentwrestling.tv. I want to remind you that all Dreamwave Prelude episodes are available on sitdownmarks.com, exclusively on sitdownmarks.com. I want to thank you guys so much for checking us out today. We just passed over a year in doing this project. We want to again thank Dreamwave Wrestling for letting us do this. I'm excited, to see how this thing moves forward, in the future, but excited for what's to come. So I want to thank the Prelude commentary team, Primo and Dylan, and myself, DB. We are collectively the Sit Down Marks podcast. Make sure you guys go check out some of our audio podcasts, and make sure you guys stay tuned to Prelude on sitdownmarks.com for everything going on with the 2026 Top Prospect Series. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am DB for Primo and Dylan. We're going to get you guys out of here on the way we know how. We got some picks for you from Dreamwave All-Star Weekend. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys here in just a couple weeks for Volume 12. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling, and we'll see you next time right here on Dreamwave Prelude, where we showcase the stars of tomorrow in Dreamwave Wrestling.